First big cycling event in the world, all beginning in South Australia, in Adelaide. The Hors d'Oeuvre, the People's Choice Classic, over 51 kilometres before the Santos Tour Down Under World Tour event gets underway in just 48 hours. And all the riders pretty tense. A beautiful day, some 33 degrees Celsius. In the white jersey there was Peter Kenyon, the champion of Great Britain. And in the centre was Caleb Ewan, all smiles here on the left of our picture. Pressure on the youngster from Australia, having won 4 races already this year. Leon Biggle, the Minister of Sport and Tourism, getting them underway, facing up to 30 laps of 1.7 kilometres a lap, and they got off to an incredible start. The riders moved away underneath the banner, heading out just to reconnoitre the first lap. They were a little bit slow out of the start blocks, but it wasn't long before they really did warm it up. They were lapping the 1.7 kilometre course inside 2 minutes for an average speed of some 53 kilometres an hour. As always here in Adelaide, this is the 18th year of this series of races, there was a large crowd approaching some 55,000 people. Constant attacks right from the gun. Team Sky, Tinkoff from Russia in the yellow there, were making it quite clear they were the teams that wanted to dictate this opening race. Jane McCarthy on the left are being joined by 2 riders, 3 riders trying to get away. Some 10 laps into the race, the bell was ringing not for the last lap but for the second sprint of the day, where the riders came round for the prizes. And on the line, it was Jane McCarthy just taking it out ahead of the South African rider, Reinhard Jense van Rensburg. But the pressure was always on. Riders were not getting a big advantage over the field. They were just managing to hold the lead. Then came a much more determined attack here, as we found Chris Hamilton putting in a big lunge at the front. The under-23 new Australian road race champion, riding for the Uni SA team, a university celebrating 25 years of being in South Australia. He was giving them reason to continue as well. He was holding them off at an average speed of 51 kilometres an hour, but he was caught. Then there were more moves coming. Christophe Ribla on the front, the man who has won a stage of the Tour de France up the giant Alpe d'Huez. He was now on a breakaway at Manuel Aburo and Martin Velits. The field were rethinking their strategy as the riders in white to the right were trying to find the location of Caleb Ewan, their sprinter, and keep him out of trouble. Burrow had other ideas here, number 71, piling on the pressure, the Italian, causing concern at the back for Orica Greenedge, who were trying to bring their young sprinter towards the front. Sensing the catch, Burrow put in a lone attack. Martin Velits tried to follow but couldn't, and Burrow was out in front by himself. He was never far away from the head of the field. The most he gained was just a scant 15 seconds. The field were winding down, but the average speed was still incredibly quick, just 51 kilometres an hour. More attacks, this time Alex Gouguet of France and Johan Le Bon were joining up at the front. The pressure was always on this race. Burrow was caught, so too was Le Bon. They were all back in the pack. Team Sky seemed to have the race nicely under control. All the men in black trying to guide Ben Swift towards his victory. But when it came down to the final dash for the line, Caleb Ewan in second place showed a clean pair of wheels to Nizzolo of Italy and took the victory. His first appearance in this event as a professional, and really there was nobody fast enough to match the speed of Caleb Ewan. Simply brilliant.
Well, Caleb, to the start, everyone was mentioning your name, but to actually come up with the win with all of that pressure must be a little bit of a relief.
Yeah, you know, it's always hard going to a race as a favourite, and especially when there's such a top field here. So, you know, I was probably more nervous for today than I have been for any of the other races so far. And you know, my team just rode perfectly. We sat back for a lot of the race and just cruised around, and they were awesome once we needed to go to the front, and they kept me up there and led me out perfectly.
In first blood to the 21.5-year-old rider, who can now look forward to the Santos Tour Down Under, which gets underway on Tuesday.
The winner of the People's Choice Classic, Caleb Ewan.